So, following the release of Seaspiracy, I thought it might be wise to share with you my preferred recipes for alternatives or plant-based alternatives to fish. That's not to say that these are going to be exactly like fish, but just that they'll do the job in a meal. So we've got Aki and Kalaloo with Tof-ish. So this is quite a Caribbean style meal. I've got here, all I can really get near me is tinned ackee, and the same goes for the callaloo. But it does the job just fine. So I'll take first of all, to prepare this, I'll add some fenugreek, cumin, thyme and lemon to a pan, and then I'll just drop in some garlic and onion. Next I'll finely chop up a Scotch bonnet pepper, and also less finely chop up a bell pepper, and just let those cook for a while in the pan. I just keep topping that up with lemon juice. It's quite a fresh tasting dish. Which tends to be the case with anything that's sort of seafoody. So next, for the actual fish portion, I've just dropped some tofu straight onto some samphire in a pan with a squeeze of lemon and some black pepper. Alternatively, I'm not sure how ital tofu is, so it might be your preference for this style of dish to just use some mashed up chickpeas. Next, I've dropped some ackee straight into the pan with the bell pepper and onion. And I'll just again keep topping that up with I'll put some tomatoes in there as well, and I'll just keep topping that up with some lemons and limes. Separately, I will actually warm up a bit of the callaloo in a pan, which I don't think I've got footage of that because it's quite boring. But next, just plate it all up. So I've got the samphire and tofu in one section of the plate. Just behind it you can see the callaloo, and I'm just putting some pineapple on top of the ackee mix and some spring onion on top. So it looks, I guess it seems quite simple, but it's a really fresh, delicious Caribbean dish. It's essential that you add some kind of citrus to the flavouring, in my opinion, and also the Scotch bonnet pepper does make it quite hot, so this might not be for everyone's palate, or you could use potentially a milder pepper if that's your preference. But the fish taste is really coming from the samphire in this dish, and the lemon just complements that and gives the same reminiscent taste. Here I'm just giving you an alternate plating option for the chickpea version. So like I say, I'm not really sure how tofu kind of falls into ital eating, and given that this was a Caribbean dish, I kind of wanted to give that option. So we've just got the ackee falling out onto the plate there, next to some spinach, which I've just placed because I do like to have greens on my plate, and then I've just got the samphire and mashed chickpeas, again prepared with lemon and pepper, so it's the exact same flavour palette, just some pineapple on top there, and hopefully we're about to see some callaloo go on the side. Yeah, there it is, steamy and bright. Yeah. Fresh tasting dish. Here I'm just getting a forkful of everything because that's what I like to do. Next up, we've got fish and chips made with, or bananish as we're calling it. So this is made with banana blossom. For a start, I decided to just make parsnip chips because I was kind of looking forward to having a bit of fun with that. But your flavour palette here is very much coming from dill, pickles, which I'll be using some of the pickle brine as well, and some seaweed is going to go in there to really give that fishy taste. But again, we'll be using lemon as the fresh maker. So this is what the banana blossom looks like out of the can. Essentially that's going to be the fish. So what I'm going to do is to coat this fish. So first I'm going to take some oats and blend them up to make some oat flour. And to that I'm just adding a squeeze of citrus, so I'm adding lemon, and I'm removing those lemon seeds because that's not what we're going for here. So this is very much to make the batter, so I've just added some lemon, and probably a little bit of water as well, just to make sure that it's going to be runny enough. And I'm combining that with dill and sorry, not water. I've added the pickle brine to give it that fishy flavour. So I've added dill, and now I'm just adding some seaweed flakes just to give it even more of an oceanic taste. So I'll mix that up to make a batter, and then I'm just going to use the same oat flour again, but I've added some chopped red onion, garlic, and some chopped seeds. You can also add things like panko breadcrumbs or something to give it a really crispy coating. So now I'm just coating it in the batter, before which I will then coat it in the crunchy bit. So this version is one that I'm going to oven bake, so I don't need to use. Also, it's not going to be a fried version, it's going to be an oven baked version. Alternatively, you can fry it, to which I would say you kind of want to flour it the reverse way round. So that's what it looks like when it goes on the baking tray. But for the battered version, I've just lightly floured it, and then I'm dipping it into the batter, making sure that it gets sort of a full coating. And then you can... Oh, I'm doing this twice apparently. But then you can just drop that into a frying pan, which I don't have oil in my home, so this has been... I've kind of used lemon and water to just try and keep it from sticking too much to the plate. Anyhow, now we're plating this up, we've just got some seaweed and onion to plate this onto, and then next to it we've just got the parsnip chips on a mixed bed of salad. So that first one's the one that's come out the oven, and that second one is the fried result. Now if you have oil in your home, then that's probably going to make the frying a lot easier. It was kind of tricky to make everything continue to adhere and not stick to the pan, but as you can see it was successful, so it is possible. And now I'm just topping that up with a little bit more of the chopped spring onion and some more pickles, because it really does help with the flavour. But yeah, this actually turned out a lot better than I expected it to. I've not used banana blossom very much in cooking in the past, but it was kind of easy to just sort of figure this out and make it work. There isn't much to worry about with the timing, it's pretty much kind of fine. So yeah, this is what it looks like when you split it open, and you've just got sort of those, it kind of falls away from itself, which I guess is kind of reminiscent of fish texture, and the flavours very much in the coating, and also in the lemony topping kind of just brings it through. And the parsnip chips were great, to be honest. So this is a Marinated pie, so it's made with jackfruit as the fish alternative. So I've started off just by putting some onion, garlic and jackfruit into a pan, and then I have failed to film myself making the sauce, which is cannellini beans, a little bit of plant milk, depending on your flavour palette. I quite like the idea of having a coconut flavour with this, but it wouldn't be traditional to Marinated pie, so just use something as plain as possible. A good nut milk will probably be good for this actually. I've added some dill, some capers and mustard. Oh, and of course a little lemon and pepper. How could I not? So I've just let that cook up for a while, added some peas to the mix, and then I thought, you know what, let's put some more mustard in and some more capers, and I'm glad that I did. So then I've just topped that off with some mashed potato and put it on a baking tray in the oven. It's come out quite crispy like this, and then it's kind of messy to get out. To be honest, I should have had a baking dish and I did not. So it's kind of messy to get out the pan, but here it is. Nevertheless, I've added some more parsnip chips on the side, and also separately made a sort of chip shop style curry sauce. I've not added the recipe for that because it's not really what this is about. It's more about the fish pie, or the marinade. I don't know what the difference between admiral and a Marinated pie is, so I've kind of just let's just call it marinade because that works. So I've just topped this off with some tomatoes and some spring onions and a little more dill, because I just think that's a nice complementary flavour to have with a fish pie. And then I've added another sprinkling of seaweed salad mix. So here's your final result. It's really In fact, all these recipes are quite delicious. So I'm just going in with a fork here to kind of show you what's going on underneath. So, because I've not used a dish, I've kind of built walls out of mash around the outside, then put the pie mix in and then just covered it with mash, and that's worked. And I mean, that's a very cheap and lazy way about things, but it worked absolutely fine. Yeah, so maybe give these recipes a try, see what you think. I'm not saying they're going to be exactly like fish, but I don't think they need to be. They give you the flavour, they give you a suggestion of the texture, but I just think they're really great alternatives. So let me know if you give any of them a try. Take care.